Like one notch.
Okay, we can try after this video.
Yeah, not a problem. Welcome back! I don't think it made any impact whatsoever when I looked at the levels there. That's how loud I am and how I project. That one could be loud. Oh, that's funny.
So this is pretty much a video on stuff Warren's watched because
Mark didn't get around to it.
I'll try comment where I can.
You've had like a week where it's just like a big black hole.
Pretty much. It feels that way, hey?
Can't remember anything that you did or achieved in the week. Like, what did I actually do?
I do remember I ate a lot now that I'm thinking about it, but...
And you're trying to do smoothies.
Yeah,
daily.
well, I've tried one. It was terrible, so it's something I need to work on.
Mark, the liquid chef. Well, yeah, I actually surprised myself when I thought about the week that was. And in fairness, it's probably a bit more because for Batman Day, we were out and about and we weren't... I can't remember us really talking about stuff that we'd watched, per se. It was more about being in the comic store and all of those things.
And the excitement around that, yeah.
Yeah, so I think there was a lot of stuff that I was probably even watching back then that I didn't necessarily think about at the time and had them on a list to talk about. So, yeah. The first one was one that was prescribed to me by our friend Bryn. He came to me one day when we were at work and he just said to me, like, are you watching Raised by Wolves? And I was like, I have no idea what you're talking about. Like, is this like one of these DiCaprio follow-ons or something? Like, you know, after he got raped by a bear in this one movie, it's just like a whole new spin. And I honestly, I didn't know what to expect. And to his credit, he didn't give me
anything
much
to go on, yeah.
He just said, I think you'll dig it. I was like, okay, fine, yeah, whatever. And then I came home and it's not on any of my normal...
platforms, yeah.
So had to do a search for it to download the episodes. And I think they're coming out 2 a week because there was a lot available. I think there's 10 out so far. And I've only done the first 2. But to give you a bit of context, it's by Riddley Scott, who did Aliens and all of those types of movies.
Yeah, he said one of my favorite movies called The Grey.
Oh, okay. I didn't know
Gladiator.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, he's a world-class... and apparently this is his first stab at like real TV, which is interesting. So I've seen the trailer, but I haven't watched the show, so because I didn't know where to get it from. So
okay, well, if you need, I can probably hook you up with what I've got. Again, it's 1080p stuff, so we'll have to do one of our usual stick it on a stick or something for you. And yeah, like I said, I went into it not knowing what to expect. I've heard stories that apparently was shot here in Cape Town.
Yeah,
which
I also heard that. Yeah,
also like super damn cool, especially when you see the terrain or the main area where they're shooting. I myself was and I think maybe there's a lot of filters that make it look a bit dull, grey, dreary potentially, and it's sci-fi. So if you have watched some of the more recent Alien stuff or Prometheus or any of those, for me there's definitely
sort of look and feel maybe.
Yeah, 100%. I didn't know. It's an interesting, intriguing premise. It's set in the future. We apparently, like we've all thought, we've effed up Earth, and they've had to go out and find new viable places for us to start again. And the way it goes is they've sent some androids out there, and they've got in their ship human embryos, and they've designed these androids that they can grow the human embryos, and then once they birth, look after them, raise them, etc., etc. Very interesting premise, and I must say, the first episode, I think if you watch it, and you'll either dig it or you won't, because I can honestly say, and I even introduced it to my family, and we watched the first episode together again. It was my second time there first, and the first easy half of it. I could see some of them were
they switched off,
kind of like lying on the couch and on their phones. And my cousin Alon, to his credit, he was like, I could see it. Something grabbed him. He liked, I think, that whole idea of having to survive in the wild, make do with whatever's there kind of element.
Also,
to it.
sometimes it's got a lot to do with like the mood a person's in, the frame of mind. You know, I've had things where, I mean, I know you're going to roll your eyes now, but like I suggested Game of Thrones to Gordon, our one mate, and he tried like 4 or 5 times and he just couldn't get past the first episode. And one day he pushed himself and then he binged everything, like all like 8 seasons. He's like, oh, this is incredible. Or however many seasons, I've forgotten, 10 or whatever.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
But I'm just using it as an example, you know. So sometimes it's like totally frame of mind. There's been so many things that have been suggested to me, and I'm like, if you're just not there, you're not there.
True. No, you're absolutely right. And I think I was almost not going to watch the rest.
Hectic.
Based on and then, so to kind of give you a little bit of context, some other humans arrive and find this main little colony setup that we've been introduced to.
Okay.
And when that happens, like, man, the thing flips and it takes this like hectic turn, and I was just like, what the fuck now? What? Huh? And especially with one of the androids, and I was just like, okay, damn, all right, let's see where this goes now, kind of thing. So yeah, it's a thing, and I'm intrigued to see what's going to happen in the latter episodes. I've heard shit goes like more batshit out of control and crazy, so yeah, I'm looking forward to it, and I would suggest people just try.
I'm actually glad because it was one of those things that I saw the trailer so long ago and then I forgot about it. So definitely on my.
And from sci-fi point of view, it's tight. It's tight sci-fi. It's good. It's like almost like they've used their budget cleverly. So most of it is, you know, trying to survive out in this desolate wasteland kind of thing, and every now and again they throw in CGI sci-fi type things, so it's like they've got a good balance of the two, and every time they've used the CG, it's definitely complemented the story. So yeah, man, it's good. It's very, very good. Another one I ended up binge watching full on last weekend was, you know, we've got our friend Timmy who's obsessed with that anime, The 7 Deadly Sins. And I started it, and I was about halfway through season 1. And it's not that I wasn't enjoying it. I did kind of like it, but something distracted me, pulled me away from it. And it's always been in the back of my mind, like, pick up, watch it again. And I think probably to Netflix's credit, on my continue watching list, for some reason, it was like the second choice after what I'd just been watching. And
Social dilemma.
It could have been 100%.
Reading your mind.
Yeah, man. And it came. I said, yeah, cool. Let me pick up. And it was awesome because I didn't even have to go back. Where I ended off, I was like, oh yeah, okay, I remember this. Great. And it just so happened to move into this one part where they had to go into this like battle kind of thing. It was like a tournament to see who the best is. And yeah, it kind of they introduced another sin into this sort of fray, and it just got better and better from season to season.
Nice.
And now I'm on season 4, and apparently that is the current last season. Haven't finished it just yet, but man, it's like in every season they've almost delved a little bit more into one of the sins, their history, their past, and in every angle they just get you to connect more and love that character more. And the main character, Meliodas, he's the dragon sin of vengeance, and they give you more of his story. And dude, by the time you're in season 4, the only word that describes it is just fucking tragic. It's like,
jeez,
like proper. Like, I found myself sitting there and going, I don't think that I have that strength of character to carry on.
Yeah.
After knowing what he's gone through, and I was just like, wow, like, damn, okay, proper tragic, and it just made me love the show even more. So yeah, just the way it built up, the way they've grown the story. I mean, in season 1 they've really set up these villains, and you think, damn, like, how can this get like any more impressive? Because, you know, normally like sequel or follow-up stuff, there has to be a bigger or badder villain. and you kind of go like, how? And then the way they did things, I was almost like, oh no, so you really just rehashed and brought back the original villains, and then it's not the case. They didn't do that.
Nice.
I was just like, wow, okay. And by the end of it, it's like proper hardcore. It actually gets to the level of proper like good versus evil, heaven and hell kind of level of
Okay, cool.
insane awesomeness with archangels and all kinds of just. It's like, this is so cool. So yeah, Seven Deadly Sins. It's proper gone up to some like one of my all-time favorite animes now.
I've heard, like, I haven't watched it, but besides hearing from Tim, but like just in general, like when I've heard talk to people, it always comes up. Okay. And I've never heard anything bad about it. So I do think, I mean, you guys know me, I'm not big on anime, but I do think if I do, it will probably be the first one I try to watch.
I recommend you give it a watch. I mean, there are a certain selection of anime tropes that are in there.
Yeah.
That comes with like almost every single anime. And if you can get past that, it's cool. The English dub is very good on this one. The voice character actors that they've got are very good. So I honestly could recommend and prescribe it to anybody.
Cool.
Animation is fantastic, especially some of the larger glorious fight scenes. And if you've ever played any of the RPGs like Final Fantasy, there's a lot of that element in there where you have your little group of guys and they've all on certain power ratings, and as the thing goes on, their power ratings go up because of the experience they're having, or they've managed to unlock things, or they have a magical weapon that just enhances their current power level. So if you've played any of those types of games...
Quick side note, have you seen the new trailer for the PS5 new Final Fantasy?
No.
It looks mental, dude. Like,
really?
I'll see if we can maybe put some footage up if someone hasn't seen it, but like...
Next level.
Like, dude, I'll be honest with you, I love RPG games. They're my favorite type of game, but for some reason, I've just never dived into Final Fantasy. I don't know why. I think it's in the beginning was that decision making where someone would make a move, like almost like a chess battle thing. I know it evolved from there, but I'm talking about, and that's kind of what I saw and I got put off. But now, dude, like I'm talking straight up from graphics. I was like, I need the new Final Fantasy. And I asked JP because he's a massive Final Fantasy fan. He's like, yeah, it looks... He's already, I think, pre-ordered the PS5. So
I'm not even surprised, dude, because it's always been one of my favorites of all time. I played on an original PS1 and then got the other versions as they came out. And every time it's just... I love that damn game.
I don't know if you know this, dude, because I know you've become quite a cool integral part of like my small friends group with like Timmy and Keegan and all of them. And it's been the longest running joke for me. I'm trying to like trick and convince Timmy into getting a tattoo because he still doesn't have one.
Okay.
And like I started, we were out one day when it's like lockdown was starting to ease up, and Kira, we were at Irene Mall. She got, I don't know if you've seen this, she got the little panda on her, like on the spot. And dude, like I got to me, he went and he asked, and he actually asked about the 7 deadly sins that like
the dragon, Meliodas' like, dragon that's eating. It's got a little dot. Okay,
and he's thinking of getting that in his arm. I'm like, do it. I'm like, I'll pay. Just do it.
Out of all of them, that's either that or there's another sin, the lion sin of pride, and I'll show you that logo. We can probably flash some of them up on the screen for people, but that one for me is also cool. And every one of the 7 deadly sins has their symbol tattooed somewhere on them. One that's on her hip, one's on an ankle. Meliodas' I think is on his arm. He's like right here on his shoulder there. And the lion sin of pride has his on his back. It's like his whole back kind of thing. And whenever his shirt rips and you see it on the back, it's like, that's fucking cool. It's like an amazing back tattoo. Like, wow. So
nice.
We should keep just pushing that. Timmy,
Do it.
And when you see the symbols, I think you'll agree when I show you all of it. It's very cool. So yeah, that was sick. Also started watching Norseman with a friend of mine. She was like
seeing that trailer, dude, and I'm like, I can't decide if it's gonna be horrible or amazing.
I think, you know what? The thing that resonated with me is it's like, I think it's a very good parody of Game of Thrones, in my opinion, because the thing that I hated about Game of Thrones was the politics.
Yeah.
And this show has the politics, but like on the humor just appeals to me how they do it.
Have you watched Vikings at all?
One or two. I haven't watched the entire.
Okay, because Norseman to me looked like just visually more of a ripoff of Vikings. So I'm wondering if they take the piss out
I
of
think
both.
Both, yeah.
Okay.
Because it's definitely of that, the Norse and their traditions and how their warrior ways. And just like in Vikings, there was that really weird kind of, I think he was like a soothsayer, druidy, those guys that are like, they're like the druids, the soothsayers, the guys who like read the bones and tell fortunes based on whatever. There's a guy like that in this, but it's like there's this one scene where he's like, okay, before we go, spit into the cup. So this chick's like, and he goes, no, spit. And she's like hawks up and spits in, and he's like, good. And he spits, and he like looks and tells her like future. And she's like, okay, good, thanks, that's helpful. And he goes, no, but before it can come true, you must now drink. So she's like, no, I'm not going to drink the spit. And he's like, no, you must. It's like, well, what happens if I don't drink the spit? And she's like, no one's ever not drunk from the cup. So she's like, okay, well, I'll be the first. He's like, but I can't guarantee it will come through. So she's like, but you can't also tell me that it won't. So he's like, well, no, because no one's ever not drunk. But that's the kind of like back and forth that they have. And you just... It appealed to me. It's,
for sure.
It's an interesting, good watch. And I think it takes the piss out of both of those shows quite nicely.
Nice.
So I'm enjoying that. I'm going to be watching more of that. The Boys, I've just, as they're coming out every week, I'm hitting those new episodes.
I've got nothing bad to say about The Boys. I don't have an Amazon account, so I've seen season 1. I just haven't seen season 2 yet. It's a tragedy.
And on season 1 was good.
Yeah.
It was amazing, and I've got to say to you, in my personal opinion, everything that was awesome about season 1, it's in season 2, and then some.
Hectic.
Dude, like...
Yeah, because I'm keen to see with the whole Stormfront thing and how they play that out.
And if you've read the graphic novels and that, they're like the biggest fundamental change is Stormfront is a female in the show and not a male. And when I watched season 2 now, it makes total sense. I'm completely behind them, why they did it, and how that's affected the story and all of that kind of stuff. So it's just season 2 is for me it's probably better than season 1 so far. It's just so damn
It's amazing,
epic.
dude, because I was worried, because like I know time, when you distract, the time passes way quicker, but it felt like season 2 came very quickly after they saw how popular season 1 is. Like they're already doing like little teaser trailers and I was like, please don't tell me you rushed this, please. And like, so I'm glad to hear that it's like, and you're not the first person. I mean, I've seen online just like titles and stuff that they're nailing it. So,
and I agree. For me, they are. It's I don't know what season 3 will bring when it gets there, but so far season 2.
Did you see that teaser though? Why am I so bad with actors' names? But Dean from Supernatural.
Oh yes, yeah. It's on the tip of my tongue now. Damn it, yes, but I know exactly who you're talking. We'll put his name
Is
up.
it Jensen Ackles?
Jensen Ackles.
Yeah,
that's it.
And then he just did this thing where he revealed like a 3, and it was a boys thing. So he's going to be in season 3, and no one knows who he's going to be.
That's sick. That's just cool. Because I love him as an actor.
He's awesome, dude.
I've always loved when I first saw him in like a couple of low budgety movies and stuff. I was like, I dig this guy. He's cool. And in Supernatural, man, Dean, he's just incredible. So, yeah, they're doing everything right there. I've even seen some sci-fi interviews with Garth Ennis and his interpretation, and he's just constantly giving them the thumbs up. Like, apparently they run everything by him as the showrunner, and he's going, yeah, that's going to work. That's awesome. Keep going. So,
nice.
Yeah, so season 1 is great. Season 2 is flipping epic as well. Such a good show.
I will report back ASAP.
I don't think you'll be disappointed when you get on to season 2. Seriously, it's that good. I had notes here. What else did I watch? Oh, yeah, we were talking about you have a little recent quest to get some classic horror films. For some, you're working on a project and you just wanted some more from a sound references
effects. And
yeah,
just to get the sort of creative juices going. So I might be working on a short film soon, so yeah.
And I'll definitely say to anybody out there, if anything comes to mind, comment.
Drop in the comments. And especially if you guys have watched anything recently that's just like, let us know.
And one of those for me on Netflix, Babysitter and Babysitter number 2. And dude, I'll be honest, I watched The Babysitter. It kept coming up on my timeline recommended. And I was like, okay, what? And first thing I can say is what I expected from the movie. There's like in the middle, it flips. So that you're like, huh, okay, fine. Let's see where this goes now. And it was cool. It was just,
Okay.
it's a comedy horror. I think it's the best way to describe it. There's some good actors in it as well. One of the ones that would stand out is it's Robbie Amell. Stephen Amell's cousin. Yeah, cool. He's in it, and like the whole movie, he just runs around without his shirt on because it's like Robbie Amell, and it's almost like they deliberately made it like that because like
because like horror films are a bunch of like hot chicks and like douchey
guys,
like built dudes,
so they full on play on that, and after the first one ended, I was like, okay, cool, yeah, that's great, and then. Now, recently on my timeline, part 2 came up, and I was like, seriously, part 2? What the fuck are you going to do here? Because of how it ended. And in the trailer for part 2, there were characters in there that had died in number 1. And I'm like, okay, now fuck. How? Okay. And just on that, I was like, okay, let me see where it's going. And the main character, he's older. So in the first one, he's a kid, a boy, and he's got a babysitter. Now it's like, well, now he's in high school. So like, why babysitter? Why would that? And there's a whole story around it. And I must say, 2 was as enjoyable to watch as number 1.
Okay.
The way they did things and brought things back and stuff. And it's not, for me, it's not scary horror. They're going on the gore factor. You know, like things getting pierced through this and blood spurting everywhere. And it's over-exaggerated. Yeah. All of that kind of stuff.
Like Kill Bill style.
And dude, it was as enjoyable. And actually, 2 ends off, where you're like, oh, okay. A little bit in the feels. Okay, cool. So I'd recommend you watch it just for entertainment factor. It's not going to scare the shit out of you or anything, and it's certainly not Oscar-winning material.
Yeah.
But there's both solid movies. And I think the director for both is that guy, I think he calls himself MCG or something like that. He's done a lot of action type movies. I think he did one of the G.I. Joe movies.
Oh, hectic.
I think he even did one of the Charlie's Angels. So he's like a very good action-y kind of director, and he's got it's cool. Definitely worth the couple hours of stream for you.
Nice one. Definitely will check it out.
Yeah, man.
So if you liked what Mark and I were talking about here, or just like our content in general,
please like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification for more videos.
And do us a favor and find us on the social media platforms like Facebook and Instagram.
See you in the next video.